Welcome back to Land House. In today's video, I'm going to be installing this Irwin 6.5-inch woodworkers vise onto my workbench here. So let's get started. I purchased this vise from Lowe's for around $18. This is the box that it came in. I also purchased an oak board. I believe this was red oak. And I like the size of this because it's going to fit this vise pretty good, I believe. So that's what I'm going to be using for the wood material in the vise itself. I'll be using these 3/4 inch screws to attach the oak to the vise, and then I'll be using probably some 3-inch screws to attach the vise itself to the workbench. To begin, I need to find out how long I need my piece of wood to be cut to reach to level with my table. So I'm just going to set this where I want it to be, and then I'm going to use my combination square to measure down until I just barely touch that spring under there, or screw. Okay, and it looks like we've got 3¼ inch. So what I want to do is come back 1/8 on that, so 3 1/8. Because I don't want the wood to be touching these poles up under here. So I've got my combination square set to 3 1/8. So I can just make my mark on my oak board here. And then I can just come back and I need to cut that down at 3 1/8 here. Okay. And I'm going to need 2 of these, so I think I'm going to flip this around and get the other side cut as well. Now, to ensure that I don't have the wood touching on those metal parts down there, I'm going to insert the wood on top of my combination square, and that will ensure that it is not touching. So what I want to do next is find the spot where it's equal on both sides. And now I'm going to just take my pin and place a mark on the wood from the 2 mounting holes that are on the side here. Okay, and so I need to put a tiny little pre-drill right here where these 2 holes are. I have this tiny drill bit set to the depth I need for my screw. So I'm just going to place this right in the middle. Now, time to get it installed here. Just going to take these 2 tiny 3/4 inch screws. It's nice to have oak boards. They're certainly a lot stronger than a pine board. Now, in typical Land House fashion, every side is just a little bit off, so I'm going to try and hit this down a little bit with my sander and see if I can't get these even real quick. Well, oak doesn't sand down like pine does. I may have to attempt to get the planer out real quick. Well, it's certainly not perfect, but with the way I work, I think that's going to be good enough. Now, time to get this thing mounted onto the shop bench here. So, in order to get the back piece of wood on, you have to screw in from here, and there's no way to get to the screw holes from this side to mount to the table. So, my thoughts are, let's go ahead and remove the front piece here just by winding it all the way off. Okay, set that aside for a moment. And now what I'm going to do is take a drill bit and drill straight through the back hole here. And that's going to show up on this front side. Do that to both of these here. Okay, and that's going to determine where the screw holes are. And then I've got this little tool here. See if it'll focus. Anyway, that just recesses the hole just a touch so that my 3-inch mounting screws will be able to be recessed just a touch. All right, that'll definitely do it. So now what I can do is go ahead and get this plate mounted where I want it. So I can get those screws started here with my drill. Okay, and let's see where we want this thing. Very nice. And now there are 2 more holes up underneath for these last 2 screws. Having these 4 screws should really give this thing plenty of strength here. Oh yeah, really nice. I'm kind of angling these back towards the bench a little bit to hopefully keep it from cracking. Very nice. That is really on there now. There we go. And there we go. It's pretty much level with the tabletop, just a little bit off on this side. And that's where I was sanding down some, but I like it. Very nice. So that's about what we have right there. Let's see what our distance is. So pretty close to 3 inches is the working room in this vise. Well, I think this vise is going to work out quite well here in my shop. For $18 to $19, you can't beat this quality. I'm sure you could find a vise that was much more expensive and a higher quality, but for what I'm going to be doing, it should be just fine. You can buy these at big box stores, or you can find them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description down below for that. If you have some great comments on using a vise, put those down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.